Sutra 2.25 Tad abhavat samyoga abhava hanam tad drishe kaivalyam. Tad means it's. Abhavat means from non-existence, from non-occurrence, from absence, from non-entity. Samyoga means union, association, conjunction. Abhava means absence, disappearance. Hanam means act of leaving, stopping, removing, remedying. Tad means that. Drishe means of the knower, seer. Kaivalyam means absolute freedom, emancipation, absorption in the Supreme Soul. Tad abhavat samyoga abhava hanam tad drishe kaivalyam. The destruction of ignorance through right knowledge breaks the link binding the seer to the seen. This is Kaivalya, emancipation. Sutra 2.16 deals with the avoidance of pain. Sutras 2.17 to 2.24 with how to control pleasure and pain and attain freedom by disassociating the seer and the seen. This sutra explains the effect of snapping the link that binds the knower to the known. At this point, the seen loses its hold and influence on the seer. Miseries terminate, and the soul is elevated to experience perfect freedom. Without doubt, Sutras 2.17 to 2.25 are terse, and many have groped for a precise and clear explanation of them. We must read and reread them in order to grasp their meaning. The kernel of Patanjali's message in these difficult sutras is this: Yoga is specifically designed to help us avoid the sort of slips and errors in our conduct which store up future sorrows, and it builds up our strength, vigor, and courage to deal with the inevitable problems of life. We know that our mind turns more readily to the world's pleasures than to the vision of the soul. It is a bridge between the senses and the spirit. It is a secret enemy and a treacherous friend, which can change our conduct without giving us time to consider. Patanjali advises the sadhaka to train the mind and cultivate discrimination so that objects and events are seen only for what they are. Then they cannot gain power over us. This is extremely difficult, but an understanding of nature will help. We are matter, temporarily, and we live surrounded by matter. Interaction with matter or nature is the condition of our life. Without discrimination we cannot break free. But with understanding and practice, we can use this interaction to reach the highest peace and bliss. If we want to experience heaven on earth, we have to grasp the qualities of nature, the gunas, that is to say, the polarity of rajas and tamas, the eternal pulse of nature between movement and stillness, and the highest balancing state of sattva. Nature has degrees of subtlety. Sometimes it is more densely or clearly manifest than others. And Patanjali analyzes as follows. The four parts are distinguishable or vishesha, unspecified or universal, avishesha, phenomenal, linga, and beyond this, noumenal, alinga. The five energetic qualities of nature, the elements, are, with the senses of perception and organs of action, distinguishable, while the five counterparts of the elements, sound, touch, taste, sight, and smell, are without specific signs, alinga. So also is the ego, asmita. All these are subject to the gunas, which blend the behavioral patterns of an individual. If we understand the flow of these forces, we can reach balance, and from balance go on to the true freedom. If not, we are swayed from one extreme to another, between pleasure and another pain. Yoga, says Patanjali, is the way to harmonize ourselves at every level with the natural order of the universe, from the physical to the most subtle, to reach the total state of health which brings stability, to cultivate the mind with real understanding, and to reach out ultimately to undifferentiated infinity. The seer is an absolute knower, awareness personified. Though pure, it becomes entangled in the tricks of the mind, which are part of nature. Yet the vehicles of nature are all there to help the seer to experience serene, pristine, divine purity. Then the elements of nature and their counterparts recede and merge in the root of nature, Mula Prakriti. Sutra 2.26 Vivekayati Aviplava Hanopaya. Viveka means discrimination, judgment, true knowledge, discretion. Kyati means the faculty of discriminating objects by an appropriate designation. So Vivekayati means awareness of knowledge, fame, celebrity. Aviplava means undisturbed, unbroken, unfluctuating, unfailing. Hanopaya means the means for removal, the means for dispersion. Vivekayati aviplava hanopaya. The ceaseless flow of discriminative knowledge in thought, word, and deed destroys ignorance, the source of pain. Unfluctuating sound judgment with uninterrupted awareness is the essence of true knowledge, the sole means to eradicate ignorance and free the seer from the seen. It should always be kept in the highest state of awareness and attentiveness, known as Vivekyati, the crown of wisdom. The seeds of false knowledge are to be burnt up through uninterrupted yogic practices to maintain an unbroken flow of discriminative intelligence. Sutra 2.27 Tasya Saptadha Prantabhumi Pragnya. Tasya means its, Saptadha means sevenfold, of seven sages. Prantabhumi means territory, province, resting place. Pragnya means perfect knowledge, supreme knowledge, awareness, consciousness. Tasya Saptadha Prantabhumi Pragnya. Through this unbroken flow of discriminative awareness, one gains perfect knowledge which has seven spheres. There are seven frontiers to be integrated between the seen, Prakriti, and the seer, Purusha. They are integration of the body, that's Sharira, Samyama. The senses, that's Indriya, Samyama. Energy, that's prana samyama. Mind, or manno samyama. Intellect, or buddhi samyama. Consciousness, or chitta samyama. And soul, or atma samyama, each realizing its own individual identity. Proficiency in yoga will bring this sevenfold knowledge. According to Patanjali, the seven states of conscious awareness are emerging consciousness, restraining consciousness, sprouted or individualized consciousness, tranquil consciousness, attentive consciousness, fissured or rent consciousness, and ripe or pure consciousness. Though this sevenfold knowledge is explained differently in various texts, I feel that this explanation of the seven states of awareness correctly represents Patanjali's thought. The seven states of awareness are variously described by different commentators. According to one version, they are: what has to be known is known, that is, parinyata prajna. What has to be discarded, that is, heyakshina prajna. What has to be attained is attained, prapya prapti prajna. What has to be done is done, karya shuddhi prajna. The aim which has to be reached is reached, karita dhikara prajna. No qualities, gunas, can taint the intelligence, gunatita prajna. And the knower is self-illumined and maintains his inner light while attending to his worldly duties, swarupa matra jyoti prajna. According to another version, they are right desire, or subheksha, right reflection, vicharana, disappearance of the mind, tanu manasa, self-realization, sattvapati, non-attachment, asamshakta, non-perception of objects, parathabhavana, and the experiencing of a state beyond words, Brahma Vidvarishta. The seven states can also be correlated with the wakeful, or Jagrata, the dreamy, or Swapna, and sleepy or Nidra states, and the state of oneness with the Supreme Soul, Turiya, and the three intermediate states between them. To simplify the meaning of this sutra for yoga practitioners, I would like to offer the following interpretation. Knowledge of the body, that's sharira jnana. Knowledge of energy, that's prana jnana. Control of the mind, that's manno jnana. Stability in intelligence, that's vijnana jnana. Knowledge gained by experience, that's anubhavika jnana. Absorption of the various flavors that life offers, that is rasatmaka jnana. Knowledge of the self, that's atma jnana. In other words, by yogic practices, the sadhaka conquers his body, controls his energy, restrains the movements of the mind, and develops sound judgment, from which he acts rightly and becomes luminous. From this luminosity he develops total awareness of the very core of his being, achieves supreme knowledge, and surrenders his self to the Supreme Soul, Paramatman,